Welcome to the Pound Perspective, presented by Nate Dogg Sports, a podcast based around discussions and debates about recent football, basketball, baseball, and MMA events. Now, here's your host, Nate Dogg.
And welcome back to episode 36 of the Pound Perspective. It starts right now. We got a lot to talk about, Red, obviously, co-host in the building.
Yes,
Red,
sir.
how we doing, my brother?
I'm good. What's up, y'all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a lot to talk about, obviously. Like we've said the last, 3 episodes, we're in the summer, man. We don't got no sports actually happening besides baseball, but we got things happening in the leagues that we like to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of drama this past week, so there was a lot to talk about. Obviously, Madden rankings dropped, so we're going to give some critiques on a couple positions. Some players made some signings over the last couple days, and we got a little bit of a running back situation happening in the NFL, so we'll talk about that, give our opinions on that. And then we'll talk a little bit about the NBA. LeBron James, the GOAT, the GOAT, changed his number in respects to Bill Russell. We're going to talk about which version was best of LeBron, 23 or 6. Then we'll talk a little bit about some star players, maybe hinting about, a future leave of their team. And we'll highlight that later in the podcast. Well, let's get into this thing, man. NFL, like I said, a lot of things happened this past few weeks. When it comes to drama, people getting paid.
Oh, yeah.
That franchise tag date, it's passed, man. And we saw some big names not get signed. First things first, though, before we get into those names, let's talk about the situation, man. Let me just hear your thoughts overall on the running back situation in the NFL right now. Is it bad or good for the league?
I mean, my first thing I want to say is I don't know why this is such a big deal. Like, this came out of nowhere. Running backs haven't been getting paid for – this has been, 5-6 years?
It's not new.
When the Cowboys signed Zeke to that contract, that was clearly a bad contract. You know what I mean? And, even talking about it at the time, people weren't high on it. It clearly was not a good contract. So, it sucks for the players, but, I don't know what y'all expected. This has kind of been hinted at. You know what I mean? So, I guess if it's good or bad for the league, it's definitely worse for the running backs, but, you can add more players on your team, I guess, with more salary. I don't know. I just feel like this was kind of inevitable. You know what I mean? You look at, I think it was Maurice Jones-Drew said, if you don't have a Mahomes, you got to have a top running back to win a Super Bowl. That is not correct. Sony Michel in the past, I think, 6 years was the leading rusher for 2 Super Bowl teams.
There you go.
Sony Michel, man.
Yeah. The guy that played backup.
LeGarrette Blount was one of the leading rushers. So it's you don't have to, you know what I mean? That's just factually incorrect.
Yep.
So, it sucks, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like in the NBA, man, how people are they used to not shoot as many threes. Well, it's statistically they should have. You know what I mean? Statistically they always should have probably thrown the ball more. They just didn't. So now they're figuring out we don't have to pay these running backs that much money. And yeah, it sucks. But in terms of a business move, I don't say I agree with it, but I get it. I get where they're coming from. This doesn't give us the best chance to win.
Yeah. I think you hit that one on the nail, my brother. I'm so conflicted on the topic because you see, the running back position is easily the most brutal position in the league. Everyone knows that. These guys are going to be done after 4 to 5. Not done, but they're going to be out of their prime in 4 to 5 years.
Which, hold on real quick. If you're a team, why would that make you want to pay them? People bring that up. I feel like if I was a team, why would that make me want to pay you if you just keep bringing up, I got to get paid now because I won't be able to in 3 years. These dudes don't care about you that. You're just giving them more intel to be
he's not going to be able to last.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And it's so true because even though you see some guys break that mold like a Derrick Henry, you see these guys that are able to play a little bit longer, a little bit past that first contract and stuff. It's just so rare now, though, because the running back position is so brutal. Because, quarterbacks get a lot of leeway with getting hits now, and then so you got to throw these running backs out there, and they are just getting beat down every single game, man. They take the most hits out of anyone besides offensive linemen and defensive linemen. I mean, they're built for those hits. So, and I know running backs are built, and you see what Nick Chubb's out here, squatting 600 pounds. Yeah, he can take a hit, but I promise you, he's hurting after every game.
One wrong hit, and he's done.
There you go. And the thing is, too, is you get these young, hungry running backs in the draft, man. You get these guys that are looking to get that contract. They're playing for that contract. They're not out here expecting a contract. Like these guys now. Once you're 3 or 4 years, 5 years in the league, you're done with that rookie contract. You're looking for that contract. That's all you're worried about. You're not worried about winning. I mean, you're still worried about winning, but you're worried about getting your bread, so you don't have to worry about money ever again in your life. And while these running backs are coming in the league in the draft, they just want an opportunity, man. They just want to show that they are good running backs. So I get it. Like I'm in the same boat with you where I feel bad for the running backs, but on a business standpoint, why the hell? What? Why would you pay a running back?
Well, and plus too, like I was saying, this isn't the first year this happened.
No,
this isn't a surprise to me. I don't know why this randomly became a thing. You know what I mean? Yep. You saw the tight end market go to shit. Quarterbacks just get paid, man. I mean, it sucks, but
they're the most important position, man.
If you have a guy like Mahomes, can you really overpay them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Good point.
What would be overpaying Patrick Mahomes? Say, $1 billion?
Yeah, I guess.
That's as much as I'd be okay, they probably overdid it. But bro, if they keep winning,
hey, no questions asked.
Yeah, I don't get why this is now being brought up.
Yeah, and it's if y'all had a problem with it, why are the running backs just now coming out about it? It's when we get a Saquon Barkley on the market, a Josh Jacobs, a Tony
exactly.
Pollard. When
some elitist bull crap, bro.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden, all these superstars are borderline. I would say all of them are, and it's now since it's just this random
since
year,
you can't get the contract,
it's just
a big
this
deal
year
now.
that all three of these star running backs get put on the tag. It's just now it's a problem.
Yeah,
you're the one that signed the tag, bro, and it's do I agree with it? Do I like it? No. No one likes to not see a guy that's a star not get their bag. Of course I want to see Saquon get his bag. Of course I want to see Josh Jacobs and Tony Pollard get their bags.
Mm-hmm.
But business logically, why would a team pay over $12 million for a running back?
Yeah, I just don't get it.
I would never and I'm gonna here. Let me tell you, these are my stats I got here. Total cash this year. Who's going to make the most out of all the running backs? You make a guess.
I'm going to say... Man, I feel like I should know this.
You're not.
Is it... Is it McCaffrey?
Good guess. Number 2 is McCaffrey. Number 1 is Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson, the rookie running back, is making the most money.
I would not
year.
have guessed that.
$13,719,844. Christian McCaffrey is at $12 million. Alvin Kamara is at 11. Aaron Jones is at 10. He's just under 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nick Chubb is just right below Aaron Jones.
Yeah. So.
Guaranteed at signing, Christian McCaffrey's number 1, Derek's 2, Alvin's 3, Bijan's 4, and Jahmyr Gibbs is 5. There you go. The rookie running backs are getting better paid than the guys that have been in the league, and rightfully so.
I mean, it just is what it is, man.
It is what it is, man.
Yes, Derrick Henry, he actually deserves a big deal. He has lasted, but I'm not saying you shouldn't pay him. I would definitely pay him, but like we were saying, from a business standpoint, one wrong hit, running backs fall off fast.
Last
man.
year, he only played 5 games last year or something.
Yeah,
like that.
So it just is what it is at this point. It's not new.
It's not new, and it's hilarious that it's just a big topic now. I like talking about it. Let's stay on the running backs. Out of these 3, though, Saquon, Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, which one of those deserved to get a bag, even though they didn't get it?
So, I'm a huge Cowboys fan. I actually think Josh Jacobs, in my opinion, is look, honestly, if Pollard wasn't coming off an injury, I would say him.
Yeah.
Just because the past two seasons, he's averaged over 5 yards a carry. He's still really, I think he's only started, which, running back starts are iffy, but he's only.
Mark Ingram started over Alvin
Kamara. Yeah. He's only technically started, I think, 7 games. To be 25, he's still, very fresh. He's never had over 200 carries in a season.
There you go.
But he is coming off an injury. Josh Jacobs, man, he won Offensive Player of the Year.
He was so good last year.
So it's his rookie year and last year were really kind of standouts.
Mm-hmm.
His second and third year weren't quite as good, but you won Offensive Player of the Year. That team wasn't good last year. So, if you don't have to sign him to a 4-year deal, but this dude deserves 2 years, $25 million in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you could push it up almost to 30.
Yeah, if it's a shorter term deal, I completely get it.
Yeah.
Now Saquon, I don't understand. I wouldn't give him a contract unless it's for 1 season.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I'm treating him for different reasons. I'm treating him like Kyrie. I wouldn't sign him to longer for completely different reasons, obviously. But I'm not. Dude, you hardly play. Why? You know what I mean?
You had one really good season in the league.
Yeah, give me
hype.
Give me the argument from if you were a coach, why you would pay me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely pay, out of those 3, I would pay Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, like you said, Offensive Player of the Year last year, 1,600 rushing yards, 400 receiving yards, broke a 2,000 yards in all-purpose, led the league in all-purpose yards. The guy was special last year, and so I think if there was one out of those 3, I would have gave it to Josh Jacobs.
And he's still, I think he's only 24,
25. He's the youngest out of those 3. Pollard is 26 and Saquon's 26.
Yeah.
So when you look at it there, he's the youngest as well. So I know, and your argument for Pollard, I like the less carries because Josh Jacobs has had high carries his entire career. So maybe he falls off quicker than a Pollard, even though he's younger.
And, but maybe, I hate to say this, I hope it doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. Maybe Pollard gets a lot of carries this year, and he's not really built for that.
Not the same.
It's kind of been unproven.
It is. There you go.
I think he can do it, but
it's
still unproven.
Yeah, you're playing devil's advocate there. I like it, but it just, you hate to see what a guy does literally everything.
Yeah,
everything to get a bag and doesn't get it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, leads the league in rushing yards, leads the league in all-purpose yards, and still doesn't get the bags. 12 rushing touchdowns, 2 fumbles. It's you hate to see it for a guy like Josh Jacobs after a season like he had last season. Played every single game, 17, for a team that was not good. So you hate to see that. You really, really do. But it's the league, man. It's the league, man. It's the running back situation is what it is, and I don't know if it's really going to change anytime soon. And I hate this idea of these running backs making their own players association. It's that's really going to make the league happy. You really think that's going to help in the NFL and around these owners? You really think that's going to make them happy? No.
Well, it's they don't care about the young running backs getting paid, man. They're worried about themselves.
That's all they're worried about.
They're mad that Bijan Robinson is getting paid more than them.
Yep.
And I get it, but also, why you wouldn't care if it was actually about the younger running backs getting paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would. Yeah, they wouldn't be talking as much for sure. But we're gonna leave that topic for y'all to debate about. Running back situation is definitely a sticky one in the league. I'm very interested to see how that gets resolved around it. Let's go to a deal that that happened this week. DeAndre Hopkins finally made a decision. Decision. DHop makes his decision, 2-year, $26 million deal with the Titans. Mm-hmm. Going to Tennessee. I'm going to ask you, Red, do you like the move for both sides?
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a standout here, but to me, DHop can play. He's 31. If you want to say, I don't even think it's really an overpay because some of it is incentive-based.
Yeah.
And
what did OBJ get?
He got $15 million, so it's basically the same. This is just for 2 years, $13 million.
There you go.
So if you look at it like that, I like it because for one, Tennessee he can be their true number one.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But also, he doesn't have to get 1,500 receiving yards. If he can get 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, like you're getting your money's worth.
Make Treylon Burke a true 2.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got a couple young guys like I forget his name, Nikhil Westbrook and Hine.
Yeah, Westbrook.
I think.
Yep.
They got that slot receiver, Kyle Phillips. I think he can be solid.
Yep.
They got a couple guys, and a lot of people are saying, on the DHop side of it, like, oh, he's not ring chasing. Where are they getting that from? Like, I'm not saying that he's not ring chasing, but like, the Titans are not a horrible team, man.
Yeah,
like,
they're in a bad conference division.
Any team with Mike Vrabel, you know what I mean? If Derrick Henry's fully healthy, Tannehill comes back and is at least the same he was last year, at least a little bit
Simmons
better.
Is still on that team.
Jeffrey Simmons, I mean, you still got Kevin Byard.
Yeah.
Like, you have some players, if you told me they were 8-9, 9-8, or if they were, say they're 7-7 fighting for a playoff spot late in the year, I wouldn't be surprised. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think New England might be a little bit better next year, but it's not like he went to a Tampa. You know what I mean? They can still compete. I don't get people getting mad at him for this, I guess. And if you're the Titans, if you want to say they might have overpaid based on the market a little bit, you can say that. But also, it's Tennessee, man. Not a lot of people are going to go there unless you give a little bit of money. Plus, you're not really paying anybody right now. You're not paying any receivers at all, really.
Yeah.
So why not go get somebody?
Yeah.
And if Will Levis is your quarterback and he was not going to develop with Trey. All respect to Treylon Burks, he wasn't going to develop with Treylon Burks as his number one. If you got a young quarterback, you got to get him a number one. So I like it for both. Like, I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't really get the backlash, honestly.
Yeah, I don't really agree with the backlash either. Mainly because it's an amazing move for the Titans. That's first and foremost. They were desperate for receivers. Everyone knew that. They might have had the weakest-ish running receiver room in the league
I think so.
before DHop. So, first of all, good for the Titans. You've got a top 10 receiver in the league now, a true number one. He's been a number one his entire career, so he knows how to do that. It's not like he's just become a number one and has got to fill these shoes. He's been a number one his entire career pretty much.
Yeah.
With the Titans and then with the Cardinals. So I love the move for the Titans. Very, 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 very smart. I do think it's a slightly questionable for DHop. 31. I know you said he's 31. I like it's only 2 years. First of all, 2 years, smart by DHop. Very smart. Didn't put himself in a hole with his contract. Didn't sign some 4-year deal and that was going to be the rest of his career. Was going to be with the Titans. He allows himself, this opportunity to have some of his best years still. And then after that, then he can go ring chase. Then he can go be a 2 or a 3 for the Chiefs. Then he can be a 2 or a 3 for the Bills. Then he doesn't need to get into the bag. This is a smart move for him because he's getting one last pretty nice bag for a receiver. $13 million a year, incentives. He's gonna hit those incentives probably just because of his opportunity. I was just a little shocked. I
didn't see it coming at all.
I just thought he was gonna join a contender. I thought that was just, hey, it's an opportunity. I know you're not going to get paid nothing if you go to the Chiefs, Bills, or anywhere like that, the 49ers, something like that. You're not going to get paid, but you're going to set yourself pretty for a ring. And I know D-Hop wants a ring. That dude has been so good for so long on a lot of bad teams.
Yeah.
His closest he ever got was with Deshaun Watson that year when they beat the Bills in that playoff game. Man, that was an amazing game, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
And then they were beating the Chiefs. They were beating them, 28 to nothing or some crap like that, and they lost still. So, he's been there. So, and, I imagined, I really thought he was going to pull the trigger on a contender. But like I said, no money. I really thought if he was going to go to a team that was not there, but could be in a year or two, or, was just a decent situation for him to be a 1. You called it. You said it. The Patriots, I thought, were the move.
See, and that's my main point, because I don't disagree with you where, if he really was ring chasing, which if I'm a player and still in my prime, or maybe not slight past my prime.
You're still a top 10 receiver.
Yeah, I would want to go somewhere where I can, they can compete. Like, they're not terrible. Somewhere like the Titans or where they can compete. They're not going to be horrible, but also, like, I'm not a big fish or I'm not a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like, but I was more so meaning, like, in terms of the two finalists being the Patriots and the Titans, like, really, I think the Patriots will be better, but to me, it wasn't so much a landslide. We're like, oh, he's definitely just going for the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you mean there.
I did think that he was gonna, because I was hearing that apparently him and Bill O'Brien had, like, made up, and, like, there was no hard blood anymore. So I was thinking, if those reports are coming out, that's indicating that they've talked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was telling me, like, I thought he was going to go to New England. Because to me,
he had a great day too there.
dude, to me, if he goes to New England, that really sets him up to maybe not contend, but finish second in that division next year.
Make surprise some people.
Him as your one, Juju at 2. That's not bad, man.
Yeah, and then didn't they get
Mike Gesicki? You got him.
Exactly. They got Gesicki, and I mean, that was my thing. Was like, when it comes to the Patriots, I know their offense isn't beautiful when it came to last year. It was hard to watch, but they didn't have an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You could say a lot of things about Bill O'Brien, but that dude knows offense. You
Yeah.
know, he knows offense. He's good.
Not a great head coach,
Not
but
a great
he
head
knows.
coach or GM, and he knows that. When he went to Bama and proved that he could coordinate, he went to Alabama and showed that with Bryce Young. I know it's Bryce Young, but and every athlete they had at Alabama was the best of the best. But he proved that he can coach offense, and his offense is even better in the NFL. And how I feel about it, I just thought with a young quarterback with Mac Jones, like you said, a Juju at his 2. And Juju maybe even could become the 1 after that first year. I thought it was just a great situation for DHop. But the point that kind of sways it for the Titans for me is if Will Levis becomes the guy.
Yeah.
Because if Will Levis becomes the guy, then DHop made the right choice.
Yeah.
Because if Will Levis, after 6 games as the starter, he made the right decision. Because then you get the rest of the season with him at quarterback. Let's just say 3-3. At 3-3 after 6 games, you're playing good. But Ryan Tannehill's not really getting the ball with DHop.
Yeah, maybe he gets a thumb injury and is out 1 week
There you go.
or 2 weeks. They're just like, screw it.
And put in Will, and what if Will goes out there and balls,
Yeah.
And then you go out there and maybe make a playoff push. I'm not saying they're going to make a playoff push with Will Levis. He was a second-round pick when everyone thought he was going to be a first-round pick for a reason. But if he comes in and he pans out and plays pretty good ball for a rookie, D-Hop made the right decision, in my opinion. You get a young guy with the true number 1, like you said. He's been in that position. It would be the right decision for D-Hop and the Titans if Will Levis is their starter by the end of the season for me.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not saying that he will develop. I'm not sure. I think if any of these guys are going to be a bust, it'll be Will Levis out of those first 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not going to develop with that receiving core. I mean, that's just, and it's not like he's bad for that. It's just that, like, you got to be realistic here.
Yeah, I mean, you could say a lot of things about, like, Sam Darnold with the Jets. I mean, you threw him into the fire, bro.
Yeah.
You can say the same thing about Zach Wilson before they got Garrett over there.
I mean, look at freaking Dak. His 3rd year bringing him, or his 3rd or 4th year bringing Amari.
Yeah.
Justin Fields bringing DJ Moore.
Oh, that's gonna be
you
beautiful.
saw what AJ Brown did for Jalen Hurts.
That's a perfect example.
So it's like you got to get a good quarterback in there for a young guy. Like, do you think Josh Allen would have developed as good if he didn't have Stephon Diggs?
There you go.
I don't think so.
Nope, and he wouldn't have. He definitely would not have. And I know Patrick Mahomes has all the talent in the world, but if he didn't have Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, it would have been a little bit
harder. He never would
harder.
have got there.
Yeah,
Like,
it would have been a lot harder without those 2 guys. But that'll do it for our D-Hop talk. Good move, I think, for both sides. Let's see what happens with the Titans. There's a team that I'm kind of keeping my eye on.
Another one, if the Bengals draft Rashawn Slater in the first round instead of Jamar, I'm not saying Joe doesn't develop because Joe is great, but, like, it wouldn't have looked the same at the beginning. It
And we all hated the move. Not hated it, but we're all like, dude, there were so many good offensive linemen.
I was like, bro, protect him.
Yeah, everyone said that.
Yeah.
Everyone said that. No one thought, there was people that thought they would go Jamar, but...
I mean, he ended up getting hurt and still freaking...
Yeah, exactly.
Still the right move.
Yeah, it still was the right move. Wow. See what D-Hop can do out there in Tennessee. Let's we're gonna make a little bit of a point here, not gonna talk about it too much. We'll kind of announce it. I don't know if y'all have seen yet. By the time y'all are listening or watching, the NFL owners approved the $6.05 billion deal to sell the Commanders to the I forgot the guy's name, Josh Harris and Magic Johnson. That was a group that came together to get that much money. Unanimous, not surprising. I'll just say it right now. Great. This is great for the league. I'm just happy that sick guy is out of the league. As a guy, I will not afraid to talk bad about. Terrible person. It seems like not a lot of people like him. A lot of owners dislike him. I know owners are these billionaires, whatever, but none of them liked him. And
something about guys with the last name Snyder, man. They just get hated. Like where you got Zack Snyder. You got Dan Snyder. You got the other Dan Snyder from Nickelodeon.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, there just ain't a lot of love for the Snyders.
Yeah, the Snyders, no one likes them. No one likes them. But another thing that came about it, Snyder is getting fined by the NFL because of their investigation, $60 million. And for him, that's chump change probably, but still, $60 million at least. They're getting something done here for a sick guy like him. You got any thoughts on it for the league?
I mean, hey, man, if you can go around abusing people and doing whatever the hell you want to do and only have to pay $60 million, I mean, it's like...
For a billionaire, hey.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
They think this is going to, like, set a standard, you know what I mean? But I mean, look, for real, like, this is definitely a good move. For one, man, this is going to sound weird because they're in my... I've actually, for some reason, always liked Washington as a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they've just been stuck in this purgatory of not having a quarterback. And you can say it's the GM and it's the coach. It all starts with the owner, man. Yeah. The owner puts
it's all culture, bro.
Owner puts in who they want to be. The owner has more say in the football side than people want to admit.
Yeah, look at Jerry Jones.
Exactly.
How much pull he has.
Which he's got too much. But you know what I mean? Like, if an owner, I mean, you look at Matt Ishaba with the Suns, trading for KD, that was his decision.
Immediately.
Exactly.
First move.
These guys, they get to make decisions, and, not only, it's more important that besides the football stuff, like, he just was not a good person. Like you were saying, like, these investigations were true. Like, if they weren't true and everything was false, then you could say what you want, but, like, the facts are out there. You're dumb if you just ignore them.
Yep.
So, like, they have evidence this dude was just not making good work environment. So, like, he should be fined. Like, he broke rules. What else is there to... You know what I mean? Like, I don't see how this is a negative in any way for the league.
No, it's definitely not. And the best thing is,
plus,
even though
he didn't seem like a guy that had a lot of friends anyway.
Yeah, it's like,
So it's just, is anybody really going to miss him?
No one's going to miss this guy, I don't think. And, even though they're in their division, I've always had a soft spot for Washington as well. Yeah. It's good to just see them finally just make this first step in the right direction to maybe change that culture, change that environment, and change that team, man, because they're not bad. They're not bad. They've got good players. It's all about quarterback, obviously, like you said. But I like Ron, so we'll see what happens over there, man. We'll see what happens. Hoping for the best for the Washington Commanders. Let's go on to these Madden reactions, Madden release reactions. We have got all of the positions announced besides, I think, quarterback and like a couple like punter and kicker and linebacker. That was the other one. So, but those will drop on Friday, like this podcast will. We're only going to talk about a couple positions, wide receiver and edge, as those are two of the most important, and they are two of the first ones to be announced, and they caused a little bit of controversy. Not a lot of people were too mad. I'll say that I couldn't find too much wrong with these lists, but let's get into it. Receiver. I'll give out these top 10 real quick. Justin Jefferson at 1, Tyreek at 2, Devontae Adams at 3, Stephon Diggs at 4, Cooper Kupp at 5, Jamar at 6, Chase at 6, DeAndre Hopkins at 7, Terry McLaurin at 8, A.J. Brown at 9, and Amari Cooper at 10. Let's talk about it, Red. You give me your underrated, overrated in this top 10, and maybe even a player that got snubbed out of that top 10.
Well, I'll say it like this, man. It's Madden, so these guys, like Madden is somewhat realistic in the rankings, but also there's a lot of like media hype that goes into this.
Oh gosh,
like
yes.
we're not going to talk about it, but Ezekiel Elliott still being in the 80s as a running back is insane. That is insane to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's clear that like not all these people watch football. It's very apparent, and so I mean, you got to take
name goes a long way.
Yeah, you got to take this with a grain of salt. Let's just be honest. But man, look, and I'm not just saying it because he used to play for Dallas. I don't see Amari being at 91. I just don't get it. He's about to be 28.
Speaking of guy that's right under him, how the hell is CD Lamb not on there, bro?
Look, and I love CD. I'll tell you who I think deserves to be on this list more than CD Lamb is DJ Moore. Where is that guy's respect, man?
Ooh, I like
if you
that.
look, and if you want to say that someone's a little, I mean, I think DJ Moore might be a better receiver than Terry McLaurin. I'm not saying Terry doesn't deserve to be top 10. I'm saying that I think I'm just higher on DJ Moore than a lot of people.
Hey, DJ's a stud, dude.
But if you want to say DHop is rated a little high because of the injuries and stuff, I get it. But in my opinion, and I'm not just saying this, I think CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, or DJ Moore fit in that 10 spot better than Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Just in my opinion. Now, like I said, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Amari, to me, still should be like in the top 15. So, like, I think the lowest ranking he should have is like 86, 87, maybe not 91, but like, it's not that egregious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will agree with you. I think DeAndre Hopkins was slightly overrated. I think A.J. Brown is a guy that may be underrated for me. I think he's better than a Terry McLaurin personally. I think
my only thing with Terry is he's done so kind of like DJ Moore. They just have never had stability, and they still just produce.
And they still produce. Exactly. They go out there and still put up crazy numbers. Only reason I like A.J. Brown a lot is because I watch these receivers make their like rankings for receiver, and this dude's like always if not top 5, right there, like 6 or 7. So
that's what I mean. Like you can tell not everybody watches film.
And it's like if there's anyone I'm going to trust, it's going to be receivers. You know, that's who I'm going to trust on these rankings. So for me, those were my overrated, underrated. When it came to snub, I will 110% agree with you on CeeDee Lamb. The one that I was a little shocked personally, I really thought, like, when the list came out and I didn't see him in the top 10, I was like, whoa, Deebo Samuels.
Okay, I like it.
And I know he plays multiple positions. I know it's not just receiver, but that dude is so special on the football field. When the ball is in his hands, amazing things happen. So for me, I would easily, I'm obviously putting CD in there. I maybe not top 10, but he's only an 88.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel 88 is just low for me.
DJ
I think he
Moore
should be 90.
DJ Moore is an 86.
See, that's craziness.
You know what else? This dude does not deserve to be in the top 10 yet. He definitely will. I think by like week 8 of this year, Garrett Wilson is an 84. 84, man.
Oh, what is Chris Olave, bro?
I think he's around 83.
I think he was 84 too. That's a little crazy, bro.
Man, and look, I love Chris Olave, but Garrett Wilson is
he was better.
Legit, man.
Yeah. He put better – I mean, Chris looked great. Don't get me wrong. Chris is going to be – I think he's going to be a top 10 receiver by the end of this year. That's me being a Saints homer, but I do believe he can be that level.
Yeah.
But Garrett Wilson, he's just as good or better, you know. And it's like seeing them too low. I get it. They're young, but – get me into the cornerbacks. I think Sauce deserves where he's at, but 94 overall in only 1 year in the league. Yeah, they weren't afraid to put him up there, you know?
Exactly.
So, I don't know. Like we said, we can't get too much in these Madden rankings because you look at them and you're just like, oh, okay, come on.
Yeah, everybody goes on there. I mean, I do this. I go on there and download, the created. With the actual people, like, just random YouTubers or whatever will make a Madden roster. I always download that because those are more realistic. I feel like.
Yeah, they are. Of course they are because they freaking watch, man. But we could stay on this forever, on this receivers. But let's move on to edge. This one I honestly was not too mad about. I'll start this one off. I do think, in my opinion, extremely underrated immediately, in my opinion, because first of all, there's only a very select amount of players in this league defensively that destroy and control games.
Mm-hmm.
One of those guys is T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Him in 94 is craziness. I think he should be 96, 97. I think you could even make a case for 98. He's one of the only guys besides an Aaron Donald, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa that have the absolute ability. Von Miller in his prime had the ability to control a game on the defensive end, dude. Like, when he was not on the field for the Steelers, there was no way they were going to win. When he was on the field, at least he had a chance. At least he had an opportunity for him to go out there and get 4 sacks a game, you know? I mean, T.J. Watt is so great. I'm not saying he's the best edge, but he is so great, and I think 94 is just lowballing him, in my opinion. And I think, as a fun one, hey, he was up there in the – I think he led the league in sacks last year, or at least second. Hassan Reddick, bro.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I don't mind 90, but I wouldn't have minded like a 92 or something in there. I know he only
I kind of like the 90, but I do get it.
Yeah, I understand. I know he's mainly a pass rusher. He doesn't really affect the game in other ways like a T.J. Watt and a Micah Parsons and all those amazing guys. But, man, a 90 for a guy with 16 and a half sacks is a little low for me. But when you look at other guys above him, Joey Bosa, Max Crosby, it's Von Miller, it's like, well, is he better than those guys? Is he really better than those guys? So I don't hate where he's placed. I just don't know if I agree with the ranking. Because I would even say Joey Bosa should maybe be higher than a 91, you know?
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough for me. When it comes to snubs, it was so hard. Because I don't know if anyone was really snubbed off this list. There was only 2 guys I thought maybe were a little underrated. I think Brian Burns is a little underrated. Mm-hmm. That dude, a lot of people wanted him. And I know if he's tradable, then he's not probably amazing.
Yeah.
But
that
also
dude's
amazing.
Also, I don't know if you heard this. The Rams were willing to trade a first-round pick, and they said no.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. You know, it's like Brian Burns is good, and he's been good for a while. And he's just like a DJ Moore, played with the Carolina Panthers, has not got any shine. And I don't think Cam Jordan should be in the top 10, but I think he's only an 86. And I know he had a little bit of an off year last year. But he cracked 10 sacks. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I would have liked to see about an 88. You know, maybe even an 87. You know. But that was a little bit of a homer pick, but those were my underrated and snubbed.
No, dude, I'll keep it short and sweet because I agree with like 90% of what you said. I mean, this is, again, just take it with a grain of salt. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And I love DeMarcus Lawrence. He's getting a little older and is mostly, he's not as much of a run or a pass rusher anymore. If you wanted to slide, tell you another name, if you want to slide Alex Highsmith in there,
that's
I don't
a
hate
good
that.
one.
Talk about a dude who just got paid. Yeah, dude, 14 sacks last year.
Yeah.
He's only going into his 4th year, man. Talk about a dude that don't get no respect.
Dang. Okay.
I wouldn't mind if they slot him in there. I love DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm with you though, man. I think Cam Jordan. I think he's better than DeMarcus Lawrence at this point.
And they're very similar players. They're both guys that don't really impact the pass as much.
Mm-hmm. But they do. They're guys that you got to watch than just look at the stat. Because, dude, like I'm sure you can say the same thing about Cam Jordan. But as a Cowboys fan, on that defense, the second most important player besides Micah Parsons, in my opinion, is DeMarcus Lawrence.
There you go,
dude. Because that dude is just such a good run stopper and is so just consistent and just technically sound.
Yeah.
He's just been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
He's been paid but he's also, they're both getting a little older. So that's another position where it can just fall off. But I mean, it's whatever.
That's literally what you said. I could say the same thing about the Saints because I think our best defensive player is Demario Davis.
Yeah.
But our most important on defense is Cam Jordan. You maybe could throw Marshawn in there, but I would say Cam. He runs the defensive line for the Saints. Like, even though Micah's the best, I think you could still say DeMarcus might be that leader on that defensive line.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For
sure. He's definitely the leader, I'd say, on the whole defense.
Yeah, there you go. So, was there any other guys you had in there, Red, or that was all you had?
I mean, I like Brian Burns. There's a couple guys you could throw in there.
Yeah, there was just – I was looking at it like, I don't know if they reached there, but – maybe they're a little on the rating-wise.
Yeah, I mean, not really, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for our Madden talk. Obviously, we got some more to drop tomorrow, but look at those 99s. Justin Jefferson, Aaron Donald, Zach Martin, Travis Kelce. Who the hell else will go on there? We would talk about it, but We're going to speed through this and get to the NBA now. There's a couple things to talk about. Not as much as happening in the NBA, obviously, because this is definitely their dead period. They're not even close to building up really yet. As the NFL is in training camp, baby. We're here. The NBA, though, had a couple things happen. LeBron James changed his number from 6 to 23. We're getting the OG LeBron back. I'll start this one off because LeBron's my favorite player. Which version is better? I got the stats here. Averages, not full points and stuff stats, because that would be a little leaning,
much.
Yeah, a little leaning to 23 as well. But just because he had more years in that number. In number 23, had 27 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, 7.6 assists, 1.5 steals, shot 49% from the field, 34 from the three, 73 from the free throw line, and with number 6. He scored 26.9 points per game, so pretty much 27. 7.6 rebounds per game, 6.7 assists per game, 1.7 steals. And he shot 54% from the field, 37 from 3, and 76 from the free throw line. Those numbers are really pretty much exact. LeBron has been a very consistent player. We can all say that. But when it comes down to the best version of LeBron, I got to go number 23, my man. And it all comes down to the return to Cleveland, 3-1 comeback. That was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen from a single player in a playoffs and a finals. Hell, even the playoffs, what was it, 2018?
Yeah.
The last year he was with the Cavs. That was the greatest single-man playoff performances I've ever seen in a string of my life. And then he comes to the Lakers wearing number 23 and wins a ring for them. And if COVID didn't happen, he was on pace to win that MVP that year. Yeah, I know you could say Giannis was probably still going to win it, but he was on pace to take that if the league didn't shut down. So, in my opinion, you got to go with 23. I know those highlights. I know those highlights of number 6 with Miami, and they're unbelievable. They're unbelievable, but skill set, experience, understanding of the game, and results, it has to go to number 23 for me, man.
I'm right there with you, man. I think number 6, LeBron, just to keep it short, I think he's the most dominant of all time.
That's fair. I like that.
Best overall, 23. I think old man LeBron is the best version. If I'm just being honest, like the best version fit to lead a team to win. I feel like number 6, LeBron, could be the reason a team won. He wasn't really meant to lead a team to victory.
That's
you know what I mean?
Very good point. That's a
but
very good point.
He could definitely be the weapon that wins them. Now he can be the leader that puts the weapons together. And it's still a weapon, when he has to be. You know what I mean?
100% agree. 100% agree. Love it. Ready to see 23 LeBron back, because that's the only Lakers jersey I have of LeBron was the 23, and then he changed to 6, and I was like, oh, gosh, LeBron, you make me buy another jersey. You'll see there's so much money. Now he's back to 23. Don't even have to worry about changing that, getting that other jersey. Let's go. Let's move on, though, to Isaiah Mobley winning the Summer League Championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers over the Rockets. Pretty dominant performance for those Cavs. I think they went undefeated. Impressive. The big question, though, after everything, is this the next step of Mobley's growth in the NBA? Red, you start us off.
Man, so I think so, but at the same time, like, this dude was a second-round pick, man. You know what I mean? Did I cut out for a second?
No.
Okay.
You're good.
This dude, it's like, I think definitely, it's hard to say that, like, you got worse. You know what I mean? When you get voted the freaking Summer League MVP. But, like, I don't think he's going to come in there and win Most Improved Player or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's going to wasn't he a second-round pick?
Yep, I was making sure. The 49th.
Yeah, so it's like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think definitely if you're a second-round pick, this is the direction you need to go in, like, for sure. I just don't know if he's, I don't think winning Summer League MVP is like...
Yeah, let's say Kyle Kuzma won it.
Yeah, about to say how many guys have done that and it really didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Lonzo won it, my bad. Lonzo won it, but Kuzma won championship MVP, my bad.
Yeah, so I mean it's like it's good for him, but like also they got Evan Mobley.
That guy.
Still got Jared Allen. Like this dude may not get on the floor more than at most 20 minutes a game. Yep. So I don't expect him to, average 15 and 10, but I mean he's definitely he's getting playing time.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
100%. Oh, no, Mobley's coming next year. It's just not that Mobley.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely wanted to give Isaiah Mobley his respect, though. That dude balled in Summer League. Don't want to take anything away from him, but that's not the Mobley that's going to be leading the Cavs next year. But talking about Evan Mobley, I just want to say this right now. I think I was a year off. I don't even know. I think you may have been high on the Cavs too, but I was a year off on the Cavs, I think. Give them another year. I think this year they have a chance. I'm not saying they're a contender by any means. I think they have a squad that is built to disrupt the East.
Yeah.
I'm feeling 2000.
I love Mobley, man.
Oh, dude, he's so good. And he will be a defensive player of the year, maybe even next year. And offensively, he's just getting better every single time he steps on the court. I'm sensing maybe a 2021 Hawks.
Okay.
With this Cavaliers team. Maybe make a conference finals, knock off a team that they probably shouldn't. Maybe a Philly, maybe a Bucks. You never know. Maybe sneak in there. We might be seeing something like that again, in my opinion.
You know what I'm seeing? It's a completely different direction.
Oh,
I'm seeing the Jazz when they were number 1 for 2 years and didn't do shit.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know why, but I just see this team getting like 50 regular season wins.
Yeah, dominating the regular season.
And then maybe losing like first or second round. I don't know why. I know that's like completely different, but I just feel like they built that roster. That roster is so good. I don't see them like losing. I don't see them winning less than, say, 45 games. They can get on a roll and get up to 53, 54 wins, and they're the 3rd seed, 2nd seed. They could easily lose first round.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're seeing the Bucks lose to Miami this year proved that anyone, any spot, any seed can lose.
Which a team I think might be more like the Hawks, and I hate to say it, might have been the Kings, man. I didn't realize this.
The Kings might be actually really good.
Well, see, I think they'll be good, but I don't think they're going to be close to 3rd seed, man.
Yeah.
Do you know that
it's tough?
Last year, statistically, they were the healthiest team in NBA history. Wow. So that's kind of like hitting 80% of your threes in a game. You know what I mean?
It's like how long is that going to last?
Yeah, but if they can be the 6th most healthy team this year,
take that.
With those players, man, they can do it.
They're so good. They're so good. And I was listening to that podcast. I think it was Paul George's podcast. And he had Tyrese Halliburton on there. They were breaking down when he got traded to Indiana and stuff. He found out from Woj. He texted Woj who he thinks he's going to go to, and he told him Indiana. He's like, what? Indiana? And now I like Tyrese. I think we brought him up last podcast and stuff. So let's move on, though. We'll see what the Cavs can do this year. Just wanted to shine some light on the Summer League Championship. Good win for the Cavs. Big Superstar came out, though, this week. Had some comments that ruffled some feathers around the league.
Yep.
And I promised that the hometown boys and women around there were not happy with these comments, but it's Philly. They'll get over it. Embiid makes some comments about winning a championship with or without Philadelphia. Yeah, I was a little shocked by those comments. Red, what's your thoughts on those comments? And do you think he will stay with the 76ers or, make a move before it's too late, before he's out of that prime?
Man, so I'll say it like this. I think he is going to stay, but I think if he stays this year, I think he's going to be there until, if he's there after this year, I think then they trade him, not he asked for a trade. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
The dude's about to be 30 at this time next year and has a history of back problems. If you still want to be the number 1, and be the reason a team makes a championship, this is your year to do it. I think if he doesn't ask out now, then you're going to be playing second fiddle. There might not be anything wrong with that, but think about how differently people would look at Anthony Davis if he was the number 1 in New Orleans and they made it to round 3. You know what I mean? It was, even though that's unfair, he'd be looked at differently.
He would be.
And you don't want to be 30 years old with a history of back problems and get paid that much money.
You have to carry a team on your
back. And then, miss 40 games a year. Then that's like getting to my point. They're going to trade him and he's going to go to Boston and be the 3rd piece. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
Like if it's not this year,
That'd be crazy.
if it's not him
No one might
going to
jump off
like
the bridge, bro.
like the Clippers or something and
Yeah.
being the number one this year, then I don't see. I mean,
Come to the Lakers.
hey, if they could fit him, man, like any team would take him.
Oh gosh, yes.
But it's like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but it's kind of like in that Derrick Henry spot. Like,
Yeah,
you just
no.
fall off, man. Like,
I don't mind that comparison.
they
No.
both just get worked so much, and Embiid is just so big that he's just too big.
Balls all the time.
Yeah, and it's just, man, that you're about to be 30, man. And back problems that's the last type of problem you want to have as a professional athlete,
Yeah,
especially a
definitely.
basketball player.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
you see all the athletes that's ruined their career.
Yeah, so if he doesn't, leave this year, I think that he's not going to leave. It'll be him getting sent out.
I really like that approach. I don't know if I believe that though. I do think the comments were more of a message.
Yeah.
I think it was more of a message to the front office and the entire league.
I mean, he seems very loyal.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
And I think a player like him, I think they want to take the Kobe approach, like a Dame Lillard. He wanted to take that approach and play for that team for his entire career. But you saw what happened with Dame Lillard now. There comes a point in time where you're done, man. Where you're kind of just like, are we chasing championships or are we chasing Eastern Conference Finals appearances? Are we going to make it to the big dance ever? And it'd be different if they made the championship once and they lost. And this is another trying to get back to that. Like, they haven't even tasted it,
Exactly.
They haven't even got there yet. So it's really weird for me. I just think it was a reminder. These comments were more of a reminder to the league that the MVP, even though I don't agree with him being MVP, I did, but I don't anymore. I think it's just a reminder. MVP is still here, y'all. I'm still here. I'm still the leader of this team, and I'm here right now. But
And that may be him realizing, hey, man, the way I play, I can't do this forever. Y'all gotta build around me.
you just hit my dang center point. We can talk all we want about Embiid. You can talk crap about him, but you got to give this guy a roster, man. And
Yeah,
it's not like the roster is bad at all. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying their roster is, if not a contending team, it's right there on the borderline of it. I think that they're right there. It's just there's a couple pieces away, and I think you got to find another guy. You got to find a guy that can take over a game as much as Embiid. Not saying he has to be better than Embiid. And you get a James Harden for that reason. 2016 James Harden would be different.
Yeah.
You have a guy like that, then you're feeling pretty good. But this is 2023 James Harden. This isn't Rockets James Harden. You don't have a guy that can absolutely take over a game any night. I mean, that's the best thing about you see the Jason Tatum, the JB duos. Either one of those guys can take over any night. LeBron, Anthony Davis. Either one of those guys can take over any night. It's just rare. We're in that duo era in the NBA. So is James Harden the best duo partner for this guy? Is Tobias Harris the best duo partner for that guy?
Which I like Tobias Harris. He's getting paid too much. I'll ask you this. If they had say they get rid of James Harden, say they get, not that this dude is not going to be in the trade, I just mean this level of player. Say they get they have a TJ McConnell level point guard next year. If they had gotten, say, Chris Middleton, are they in a better spot, you think, than they were this year with James Harden? And if they have a slightly above average point guard and a guy like Chris Middleton with that roster, then would just James Harden and Embiid be in the...
Yeah.
Because Tobias Harris is fine, but, he's not worth as much as he's getting paid at all.
I think everyone agrees with that.
But,
I would
if he's
say,
your third option, cool.
No, he's a solid third option. I mean, he does his job. That's his thing, and that's all you could say for the guy. I would say yes. I would say with a Chris Middleton, mainly because he's got a championship experience. Those kind of guys is what they need. They don't need a guy that's been better than James Harden or is even better. I think Chris Middleton is, but you got to get a guy that is a championship player. James Harden is not a championship player. Chris Middleton is a championship player. He's a perfect two to a superstar. There's perfect twos in this league. That play perfect next to superstars. And I would even say when Dame and the Portland was playing good, C.J. McConnell, that level of a guy, I mean,
what if Philly gets a guy like Clay?
There you go. There
You know?
you go. Even though Clay's not what he once was, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a flamethrower any given night. You know, there's players in this league where it makes sense, and it's just you gotta find the right guy. I don't think it's as easy as just going to get a Dame Lillard. I think you can make a move for a certain player, you know, in this league where it makes sense, you know. And I don't know who it is. Maybe a Paul George or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a certain guy in this league that fits perfectly with Joel Embiid. I can't tell you who it is right now, but there is a guy out there that knows how to win and would be a perfect 2 for him, and then maybe become the one after a couple years, you know?
Yeah. I mean, say they got, you know, I'm not just being a homer. If they got a dude with Jaden McDaniels defense, like a Paul George, that type of just can play defense but also be that second scorer.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if they had Drew Holiday 2 years ago, that's the type of dude they need in my
Even
opinion.
Jaylen Brown now.
Yeah.
You know, like a guy that is like.
Call me crazy. I think Austin Reeves could be the third guy there easily.
No, he's going to be the third. He's going to be the third fiddle in the Lakers. So I mean, I get what you mean, man. There's just. I don't think James Harden's the guy.
Shea.
Oh, see, someone like Shea Gilgeous is like money, bro. That is
Shea.
money. That is like a perfect guy next to him, bro. A near superstar. If he was in the right situation, right, you know, media market, he is a superstar.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Because Shea Gilgeous is a superstar in my opinion. He just happens to play for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
But we could talk about this all day. Embiid, though, I do believe, and I would be shocked if he ever left Philly. Not to say it won't happen. There was a point in time where I thought it'd be crazy for Dame Lillard to leave the Portland Trailblazers, and we are here. So, I'm not going to be surprised by anything when it comes to superstars leaving their hometown. It's just so normal now. So, that'll do it for us, though, Red. On our talk about the NFL and NBA in the Pound perspective this week. I'll wrap it up for us. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Nate Dogg Sports on Instagram and Twitter, and Nate Dogg Productions on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. This is also going to be on YouTube as well. So if you listen to this and want to watch it and give us a view, go to YouTube, Nate Dogg Productions YouTube channel. We really hope you all enjoyed it. This has been fun doing video for y'all. And
Hey, look.
obviously,
Y'all go see Oppenheimer and Barbie this weekend.
Yeah.
You know,
no verses here, man.
get the cinemas back. Barbenheimer. Pull a double feature on Saturday.
Double.
Look, go see. You know, if it's my opinion, I think you got to see Oppenheimer first. Kind of wash down the.
Yeah.
You
Get
know,
that
you got
anxiety up.
You got to get that. You know, that joy with Barbie after. You go see Oppenheimer about 1 p.m. Schedule you a Barbie screening for like 6:45, 7 o'clock.
Perfect.
You know,
right after you got some dinner. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Mold on the whole entire absolute mayhem that Oppenheimer is likely to be. I'm going to see it Sunday, so you boys ready. But that'll do it for us, Red. I appreciate you coming in once again.
Yes, sir.
Like we said, things are changing with the podcast and Nate Dogg Productions and Nate Dogg Sports, so we'll keep y'all all up to date once things happen. But that'll do it for our episode this week. Episode 36 of The Pound Perspective is officially done. Have a great day.
Thanks again for listening to The Pound Perspective, a breath of fresh sports.